Welcome back. All right, let's talk about some hockey. So we had 10 games tonight in the NHL. And to any new subscribers, welcome. Gained about 200 today. So anyways, 10 games tonight in the National Hockey League. I watch them as I always do. There's 6 that I rotate between on my television, and then there's others I rotate between on my computer. This Thursday, good luck. There's going to be 12 games on at the same time. Um, I was looking ahead to Thursday. I'm like, yeah, I'll do my best. But anyways, we're going to start things off talking about the Islanders and the Devils. And it does feel like the Devils are starting to turn it around. So Sorokin versus Vanecek in this one. The Devils with the early edge. Gauthier then denied as the Islanders press. Get a power play for the Islanders. Barzal with a near miss. And then Horvat buries one on a good cycle from Dobson and Barzal at 5:16. So in their last game, New Jersey's penalty kill was 0 for 2. They started this game 0 for 1 with the power play goal by the Islanders. Devils didn't get a power play. There's a near miss for Bratt on a rebound. Holtz misses one high. That power play's killed off. 2 shots. Shots are 6-3 at the half for the Islanders, but at 10:28, McLeod buries one on a net drive. Lazar with the assist ties the game at 1. Jack Hughes then has a rush chance to save. The Devils press. 7 minutes left. There's a post for Barzal. The Islanders come out with a power play. Horvat fires one high from the slot. The power play is killed off, and as I said, that's the first and 4 that the Devils have killed off. The Devils press, but they're kept to the outside. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period, Holtz is denied on a rush. Strong forechecking by the Islanders, but eventually New Jersey gets their first lead of the game. It's Mercer from Jack Hughes and Toffoli at 4:19. The Islanders look to respond, I should say. Devils press, the Islanders block. The shots are 6-4 for New Jersey at 8 minutes, but at 8:24 on an excellent pass by Anders Lee, Barzal buries it. Dobson with the other assist. So, yeah, at 8:24, it's a tie. And then at 9:40, Clutterbuck with one that just trickles in. He scores from Zizekas and Gauthier. So, Gauthier on the board there. And suddenly the Islanders have the lead back. And then they make it 4-2. Pajot scores one at 13:05. That would end the night for Vanecek. Kira Schmid goes into the net. So, it's 4-2. Devils get a power play with 2 minutes left. That's killed off. So, going into the third period, the Islanders with a 2-goal lead. So the Islanders with the early jump. The shots on net are 1 apiece at 3 minutes. No easy pucks for the Devils, but then Jack Hughes gets denied on a rush, and after that, he buries one post and in. Mercer and Smith with the assists at 5:08. Devils press for the tie. There's a power play for the Islanders. That becomes a 4-on-4. Then it becomes a 4-on-3 for 47 seconds for the Devils. A bit of a parade. It turns into a 5-on-3, and the Devils score on that. It's Heischer from Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes at 11:10. So the Hughes brothers with the assist on that one. Islanders get a power play after that. That's killed off, and things stay tied until the final minute at 19:38. It is Lazar from Ball and McLeod. So an absolute shocker that in the final minute it's a goal by Lazar, and New Jersey wins this one 5-4. They go to 10-9-1 with the win. The Islanders drop to 8-7-6 with the loss. Shots on net, 9-8 Islanders in the first, 11-10 Islanders in the second, 15-6 New Jersey in the third. They do outshoot the Islanders 33-26. Power plays, both teams 1 for 4. Hits, 20-18 for New Jersey. Sorokin saved 28 out of 33. Vanecek 14 out of 18, and then Schmid saved all 8 shots in relief. All right, moving along. Toronto at home against Florida. So the Florida Panthers, tough again, but Toronto comes out of this one with a couple of points. So it's Stolars versus Wall. Great saves by Stolars without a stick early on in this. The shots are 3-2, Toronto 3 minutes in. Panthers press at 5 minutes. Verhaeghe has a net feed that's picked off. Panthers are getting lots of zone time in that first half of the period. Tkachuk has a shot that's blocked. It's cleared. Gadjevich is then denied on a turnover. Panthers press with 9.5 minutes left. Timmins had a shot that was blocked as the Leafs get some pressure. Tkachuk has a tip shot that's held. Verhaeghe's denied and close. The Leafs press with 5 minutes left, but the puck goes the other way and it goes in the net. It's Stenlund who's been hot lately. Gadjevich and Ekblad with the assist at 15:28. The Panthers then press for another. Rodriguez has a chance that's caught and held. The Panthers with some momentum. They press in the final minute, but with 26.6 seconds left, Panthers guilty of too many men on the ice. So that power play rolls over into the second period. Panthers do finish the kill, so they keep that 1-0 lead. Panthers then get a 4-minute power play. They cycle. OEL fires one high. Ekblad has a shot that's held. First 2 minutes are done. The Leafs clear it out. Short-handed rush for Nylander. He nearly scores there. The power play was killed off. 4 shots for Florida on the 4-minute power play. Leafs press at 7.5 minutes. A post away from tying it. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. Gregor has a tip shot. That's held. We then had a fight between Bennett and Domi. And then at 12:54 on a fast break, Gregor buries one. So Noah Gregor ties the game. Panthers look to respond. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. 2 shots on net for the Leafs. Marner has a rush chance that's saved. The Panthers press with 2 minutes left, but after the second period, it's 1-1. Third period, shots are 2-0 Toronto, 2.5 minutes in. Tkachuk has a net feed that's picked off. Panthers have a 3-on-1. That is saved by Wall, who makes the hold there. Kampf is denied and close. We get a power play for the Leafs. That's killed off. Lots of power plays, not very many goals at all. No goals on the power play, actually. Not very many goals in the game at all. So the shots are 9-6 for the Leafs with 6 minutes left. Panthers press with 5.5 minutes left. They can't get to the net. 3:04 left, a 4-minute Leafs power play. But then with 5.4 seconds left, the Leafs are guilty of too many men on the ice. So that makes it 4-on-4. And in the overtime, it then becomes a power play for the Panthers, and they control during that. They cycle. McCabe blocks. Marner clears. That power play is killed off. Things get pushy on a hold by Wall as we go back to 3-on-3. Reinhardt's denied. We're going to a shootout. What's funny with the shootout is Evan Rodriguez scores in the 5th round. It's over. It's done. Fans are streaming to the exit. However, the referees take a look at it on the replay, and he doubled hit it. So if you hit the puck and it comes back and hits your stick again, it doesn't count. And that's what happened there. His initial shot is saved. The second attempt ends up being the one that goes in. And so fans have to rush back to their seats for round 6, where Gregor gets the winner. So fans were likely out in the parking lot being like, dumb Maple Leafs can't believe this. And fans are coming out cheering, like, what are they cheering about? So 2-1 shootout victory for the Leafs. They go to 11-6-3 with the shootout loss. The Panthers 13-7-2. Shots on net 15-7 Florida in the first, 14-13 Florida in the second, 11-6 Toronto in the third, in the overtime 4-1 Florida. Final shots 39-32 for the Panthers. Power plays Florida 0-3, Toronto 0-6. Got to get that going. Hits 41-40 for Florida. Stolarz 31 saves on 32 shots. Wall saved 38 out of 39. It was a goaltending clinic between the two tonight. All right, next up, Carolina and Philadelphia. And kudos to the Philadelphia Flyers for having a kid there who's fighting a brain tumor and having him behind the bench. I thought that was great. He was right next to Tortorella. They interviewed him. I believe the name's Owen. And good on him. So I think that was a good gesture on their part. I think that was great. I think he was there for the whole first period. So Kochetkov versus Hart in this one. Early back and forth. Pretty good early flow to this one. There's a power play for the Flyers. Pretty aggressive penalty kill by the Panthers. They do kill that off. Canes had the only shot on net 5 minutes in. And then on a great pass at 5:39, Carolina gets the lead on a bunting goal. Aho and Orlov with the assists. And the shots are 6-1 Carolina, 6.5 minutes in. Canes press at 9 minutes. Tippett has a rush chance that's defended. Burns with a net drive, that's saved. Stahl fires one wide on a rush. Burns has another chance, that's held. Tippett had a net feed that was held. It's 1-0 Carolina after 1. Second period, early Flyers chance is held. They end up getting a power play, those Flyers do. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1. Aho's denied. Penalties killed off. Pretty good kill by Carolina yet again. Philadelphia doesn't get another power play. Shots are 7-2 for the Flyers at 6 minutes. And then at 7:14, they break through. Konechny scores from Forster on a fast break and ties the game at 1. Flyers press at the half. Pesce has a one-timer, that's held. Burns has a shot held. Hart was pretty good in this until Lemieux buries a puck at the net. 13:25 makes the score 2-1. I put Barry's a rebound, but there's been no assists given on that goal last time I checked. So at any rate, it's a puck that bounces out to him and he buries it. Flyers press with 2 minutes left. With 1:49 left, the Canes with a power play. So it is an offensive zone penalty by the Flyers. So to start the third period, there's a bit of a 5-on-3 to start for the Flyers, but that's all killed off. Aho is a blast that's held. That's killed off. Aho is a blast that's held, and the power play is killed off. Canes press at 4 minutes. The shots are 3-2 in favor of the road team 6 minutes in. Flyers press at 6.5 minutes. Tippett ends up hitting a post. Could not quite get that into the net. Natchez has a shot that's blocked. The Flyers rush. The Flyers press with 8 minutes left. Canes not giving up shots at this point. The Flyers would manage to get some shots, but yeah, there wasn't very many getting through early on in that period. Farabee has a wraparound that's saved. The Flyers press with 5 minutes left. But then on a rush, this one just fools Hart. Jarvis from Bunting and Aho at 16:34. Then after that, the Flyers pull the goalie, and Carolina hits the empty net. It's Kotkaniemi from Fost at 17-16. Canes would press for another. They end up winning this one 4-1. They go to 13-8 on the season. The Flyers drop to 11-10-1 with the loss. Shots on net, 11-9 Carolina in the first, 17-12 Carolina in the second. Both teams had 8 shots in the third. Final shots 36-29 Carolina. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play, and both teams with 9 hits in this game. Not a very physical game. Kochetkov saves 28 out of 29. Hart saved 32 out of 35 at the other end. So good goaltending on both ends, but Kochetkov that little bit better, and the Canes a little bit better on the night. All right, next up, St. Louis and Minnesota. So this was an interesting one because, of course, you have the first game for John Hines behind the bench for the Wild, and St. Louis, a very up-and-down team this year. So Binnington versus Gustafsson, early power play for the Blues. That's killed off. And then on their first shot, Minnesota scores. Eriksson Ek from Zuccarello and Spurgeon at 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Blues press at 4 minutes. Kaprizov has a rush chance. That's defended. Things get pushy on a hold by Binnington. Blues go back to the power play. Thomas has a shot that's held. That power play is killed off, but St. Louis would tie it. Parayko from Blaine and Toropchenko, easy for me to say, at 10 minutes and 30 seconds. We had an equipment issue for Binnington, which put Hofer in briefly, but Hofer didn't face any shots. Wild press with 6 minutes left. Eventually, they get the lead. It's Goudreau scoring from Maroon and Foligno at 18-10. Blues look to respond. Faber then had a net drive that was saved. It's 2-1 Minnesota after 1. Second period, Kaprizov has a rush chance. That's blocked out. The Blues press at 3 minutes. We get a power play for the Wild. Boldy's denied and close. That power play's killed off. Spurgeon has a shot deflect wide. The shots are 6-0 Minnesota 6.5 minutes in. There's a press by the Wild at the half. The teams exchange rushes. But in the end, this is a period where Minnesota dominated, and Binnington did everything he could to keep this game close. Third period. Early jump for the Wild, but the shots are only 1 apiece 3.5 minutes in. Johansson gets dinged on a shot block. Press by the Wild at 4.5 minutes. Middleton has a shot deflect out. Power play for the Blues. It's a 4-minute power play. Kyrou has a shot that deflects out. They kill that one off, and then the Blues press after it's, or the Wild press after it's done. The Blues then press, and while they're pressing, Kyrou fires one wide. Letty has a screenshot that's saved, and then on a breakaway, Matt Boldy, and he needed this. He scores from Brodin at 17:08. So he's feeling it. It was not a goal with on an empty net. This was with the goalie in, and it's nice to see Boldy finally get his second of the season. The Wild with an icing with 1:57 left during the 6-on-5, but in the end they hold on. They win this one 3-1. They go to 6-10-4 on the season. The Blues drop to 11-9-1 on the season. Shots on net, 10-9 Minnesota in the first, 17-5 Minnesota in the second. Both teams had 10 shots in the third. Final shots 37-24 Minnesota. Power plays St. Louis 0 for 4. Minnesota 0 for 1. The hits 15-12 Minnesota. Binnington 34 saves on 37 shots. Gustafsson 23 saves on 24 shots. So entertaining game, and Minnesota ends up winning it. All right, next up, Pittsburgh and Nashville. So, of course, we're Nashville for the preview, so there you go. Jari versus Saros. The shots are 2 apiece at 4 minutes. We get a press by Nashville at 4.5 minutes. Good flow, very few whistles early on in this one. Penn's press at 8 minutes, but at 10:20, during a press, McCarron tips one in. Barry and Nyquist with the assist, so Nyquist's point streak continues. Pens look to respond. Carlson's denied. The rebound's cleared. The shots are 10-5 for the Penguins with 6 minutes left. We get a power play for Nashville. That's killed off. They press after it's done. The press ends up drawing them a power play, or at least it would have, if not for a goal during the delayed call. At 18:37, it's McCarron with his second of the period from Tomasino and Forsberg. So it's 2-0 for McCarron against the Pittsburgh Penguins after 1. Second period, early jump for Pittsburgh. Power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. Smith has a tip shot that's held, and then Malkin scores from Riley Smith at 5:49. Nashville would then draw a power play. That was killed off. The Penguins rush after that's done. Penguins press with 6 minutes left. Rust couldn't bury one on a net drive. He was close. 38 seconds left. The Preds with a power play and a great hot mic moment where players complaining to the referee, and the referee looks at him and says, "Do you want to join him?" It was great. It's the dad voice. It's my favorite thing. So I do like those hot mic moments when a referee's like, "Yeah, you want to go too? All right, let's go to your bench." Anyways, so you want to join him is like, oh, that's a great one. So anyways, after the second period, it's 2-1 in favor of Nashville. So they're a crossbar away from 3-1, but the Penguins finished the kill. 2 shots that hit the net for Nashville. And then at 2:26 on their first shot of the period, Rust gets that goal he couldn't get in the second. He scores from Ludwig and Gensel. I think for John Ludwig, that's his first point this year. Is that the first point of his career? I'm pretty sure that it is. But that ties the game at 2. Nashville looks to answer. The Penguins, though, they draw a power play during some pressure they're having. Early clear. It's cleared out again. That's killed off by Nashville. Good kill there. Penguins press afterwards, but the Preds again clear it out before any damage can be done. The shots are only 4-3 Pittsburgh with 9.5 minutes left. Nieto took a puck to the collarbone. Looked like it hurt, but at any rate, we're going overtime. Preds controlled early, and Pittsburgh never touched it. Forsberg buries it on a rush. Yossi and O'Reilly with the assist at 19 seconds. Nashville wins 3-2 in overtime. They go to 11-10 with the win. Pittsburgh 10-1 with the overtime loss. Shots on net favored Pittsburgh in the first, 11-9, 14-9 in the second, and then 7-6 Nashville in the third. They had the only shot of overtime. That's all they needed. Final shots 31-26 Pittsburgh. Power plays the Penguins 0-2, Nashville 0-3. The hits 32-15 for Nashville. Jari saves 23 out of 26, and Saros saved 29 out of 31. And now I need to change words. Okay, Dallas, coming off of an embarrassing loss and allowing 7 goals, this is what I wanted to see from Dallas tonight. Sadly against Winnipeg, so I did apologize to Yvonne tonight. I said, yeah, I'm sorry about your Jets. Sorry, but I knew Dallas had to bounce back from that game. So it's Ottinger versus Hellebuck. Good early back and forth. The Stars were a post away from a 1-0 lead. Appleton has a net feed this block. The shots are 2-0 Dallas 5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Stars. Back-to-back clears by the Jets. They kill that off. Stars press after it's done. They press again with 7.5 minutes left. Fox has a wraparound. That's held. Morrissey then had a slot shot. That was held. Perfetti's one-timer also held. Ottinger not giving up the rebounds tonight. So it's scoreless after the first. Second period, Scheifele to Pionk gets blocked out. The shots on net are 3 apiece, 4 minutes in. So after a really quiet first period, there were at least some more opportunities in the second. Stars press are kept to the outside. Ehlers has a rush chance. That's held, yeah. Neither team giving up a lot here. We get a power play for the Jets. It becomes a 5-on-3. Morrissey has a shot that's held. Ottinger, absolute heroics during that. They do kill that off. Ottinger earning his paycheck tonight. And then at 12:54, Pavelski does what he does. He tips one in at the front of the net. Hintz and Robertson with the assist at 12:54 to make it 1-0 Dallas. So goalie interference challenge, nope. And it was pretty obvious that was going to be a no. Basically, he brushed Hellebuck's mask and shoulder with his stick, but yeah, I knew that wasn't going to be enough for goalie interference. So that means the Stars come out of that with a power play. The Jets do kill that off. And the shots with 6.5 minutes left are 10-6 for the Jets. Both teams had one shot the rest of the way. So we go to the third period. Morrissey with some near misses early. And I guarantee you he's probably not happy about that. We get a power play for the Jets. It becomes a 5-on-3 again. Scheifele's denied. It's cleared out. And they kill off another 5-on-3. So good fortune for Dallas as well here. Shots are 5-3 Jets at 8.5 minutes. Perfetti has a net drive. That's blocked. Craig Smith has a blast kicked aside. Fans call one. The referee doesn't. Schmidt has a shot that deflects wide. And then on a 2-on-1 rush. So the Jets had been controlling things. And then Dallas just goes the other way and scores. It's Sagan from Marchment and Duchesne at 16:45. So that does it. Basically, that does it. Your final score is 2-0 for Dallas. They go to 13-5-2 with the win. Winnipeg 12-7-2 with the loss. And there's the Tony the Tiger Magnet, because Otter was great. Shots on net, 8-5 Dallas in the first, 11-6 Winnipeg in the second, 11-7 Winnipeg in the third. Final shots were 27-21 for the Jets. Power plays 0-2 for Dallas, 0-4 for Winnipeg. Hits 17-12 Winnipeg. Ottinger saves all 27 shots for the shutout. Hellebuck, 19 saves on 21 shots for him at the other end. So, pretty good game if you're a Dallas fan. Not so much if you're a Jets fan. Sorry to Yvonne, wherever she is. All right, next up, Seattle and Chicago. So, I don't often kind of root for Chicago, but tonight I kind of did. With all of the drama around the team today and all of the discussions going on, I found myself rooting for them. So, how did that go for them? Well, it was Grubauer versus Mrazek. Early jump for Seattle. McCann fires one high on a rush. The shots are 2-0 Kraken at 3.5 minutes. This is why I said, too, in that video yesterday. It depends on the situation, who I'm cheering for on any given night. Tyler Johnson has a rush chance that's saved. We get a power play for Seattle. That's killed off. One shot on net. Bedard has a net feed that's blocked, and then Tkachuk ends up scoring from Jones and Vlasic at 8:54. The Hawks would press for another. Seattle gets pinned down until Chicago scores. It's Dickinson with his 7th goal already this year. Phillips and Anderson with the assists at 10:23. Don't look now. Joey Anderson started putting up points. That was from the high slot as well, so suddenly it's 2-0 Chicago. Kraken press to respond. They end up getting themselves a power play. That's killed off. But then Matty Beniers, who's really picked it up lately, scores from McCann at 14:43. There's a press by Seattle with 4 minutes left. Seattle goes back to the power play. And at 19:23, they would score shorthanded because it became a 4-on-4, and then they were shorthanded, and Wenberg gets the shorthanded marker from Larson and Grubauer. So Grubauer with a secondary assist. Kudos to him for that. And the score's 2-2 after 2. Third period, things get pushed in a hole by Grubauer, and then Tyler Johnson scores from Radish and Reichel at 4:22 to put Chicago back in the lead. Bjorkstrand fires one high from the slot, and then at 10:43, Entwistle scores from Joey Anderson. So it's 4-2 at that stage. Vlasic then has a net drive that's blocked. The shots are 7 apiece with 6 minutes left. Kraken press with 5 minutes left. Eberle's denied. The Hawks clear. We get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. And then 2 penalties are called on Seattle. So it's a 5-on-3 for Chicago. 1:49 left. That ends up being killed off. So in the third period now, 4-2 in favor of the Chicago Blackhawks. We get a press by the Kraken at 2 minutes. The shots are 4-0 Seattle, 4.5 minutes in. This is where Mrazek starts to earn his paycheck again, too, because Mrazek's been really good this year. If you haven't been watching Chicago games, you might be like, really? But he has. He's been quite good. Tolvanen has a shot that's held. Khrushchev then had a 3-on-2 chance. That was held as well. Eberle to Beniers. There's a near miss. And then Cartier from Beniers at 6:51. And it was a great shift by Beniers, showing his 200-foot game. And Cartier points right at Beniers after he gets that because Matty did all the work. We then get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. The Kraken draw a power play. It becomes a 5-on-3. Everything's killed off. And then there's a shorthanded miss by Entwistle. So we're going to there's an empty net goal missed by Entwistle, and the game is done. A lot of games tonight. 4-3 is your final for Chicago. They go to 7-13 with the win. The Kraken 8-10-5 with the loss. And with every passing game that the Kraken don't get to or near or above 500, we're looking at them having longer and longer odds making the playoffs. So the shots on net, 14-10 Seattle in the first. Both teams had 10 shots in the second. 12-3 Seattle in the third period. Keep wanting to say overtime. There was no overtime. Shots on net, 36-23 Seattle. Power plays 0 for 5 for Seattle, 0 for 3 for Chicago. Hits 13-12 Seattle. Grubauer, 19 saves on 23 shots. Mrazek, 33 saves on 36 shots. All right, moving along. Tampa Bay and Arizona. So I'm wearing Coyotes. I haven't worn Coyotes for a review video where I've been reviewing multiple games, so here we are. It's Johansson versus Ingram. Early jump by the Bolts. We then had a fight between Jeannot and Josh Brown. And on their first shot, Arizona scores. It is Carcone from Kesselring and Kerfoot at 3:21. Coyotes press for another, but Tampa Bay would press at 6.5 minutes. There's a near miss by Point. They press some more. Coyotes press at 8 minutes. The Bolts press back at 9.5. With 8 minutes left, the shots are 6-4 for Arizona, and it's just, there wasn't much happening every time I went back to the game after that. So I didn't have anything else to write. So after the first period, it's 1-0 Arizona. Second period, early jump for the Coyotes. They press 2 minutes in. We then get a power play for Tampa Bay. That's killed off. And shortly after, on a rush, Travis Boyd scores at 5:42 from Brown and Ingram. So there's another goaltender on the board with a helper tonight. And that makes it 2-0 for Arizona. What's interesting is that Tampa Bay was playing pretty well, and then Arizona gets the goal to go up 2-0. Bolts look to answer. Zucker then has a shot that's blocked. Arizona presses after that. Mosier's denied as the Coyotes press, and then at 15:22, Tampa Bay gets on the board. It's Braden Point, who's been red hot lately, from Kucherov and Hagel, and then the Bolts press with 3.5 minutes left. So 2-1 game after the second period. Third period, near miss by Zucker. It's cleared out. The Bolts press at 1.5 minutes. Bolts are really starting to take control of the game at this point, too. For shot attempts, they were way ahead of Arizona. Kerfoot finally clears it out. Cooley then has a net drive that's saved. Chernak had a shot that was blockered aside. And then on a net drive, totally against the flow of play, Carcone scores from Zucker and Kerfoot at 7:22. And that really kind of took the starch out of Tampa Bay a bit there. Shots are 6-5 for the Coyotes with 9.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Tampa with 8.5 minutes left. Point has a chance that's saved. Kucherov fires one wide. It's cleared out. Stamkos had a blast that was held. That power play's killed off. Coyotes press with 6 minutes left. Kerfoot has a net feed that misses. 3:49 left. The Coyotes get a power play. So that's a tough one for Tampa Bay, right? Things get pushy with a minute and 50 seconds left, so they did kill off that penalty. Goalie pull happens with a minute and 30 left. Kucherov with a hit on Dursey draws a crowd. Coyotes end up emerging with a power play that ends the game. And your final score is 3-1. The Coyotes back above NHL 500 at 10-9-2. The Lightning dropped to 10-8-5. So shots on net, 8 apiece in the first, 12-7 Tampa in the second, 12-11 Arizona in the third. Final shots 31-27 for Tampa Bay. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play. The hit 17-16 for Tampa Bay. Johansson saves 24-27. Ingram, 30 saves on 31 shots. Continues to play like a starter. Ingram, I think, has become the starter there. All right, next up, Golden Knights and Oilers. One of the most bonkers games of the night. I'll say the most bonkers game of the night. So Thompson versus Skinner. The shots are 3-0 Oilers at 4 minutes. Eichel has a net drive that's defended. We get a power play for Vegas. However, during their delayed call, they had too many guys on the ice. So it ends up being 4-on-4 instead. As Homer would say, dope. So Vegas then gets a power play after that. That's killed off by the Oilers. Bouchard has a blast that's held as the Oilers get some pressure. And then on a face-off win, Gagner banks one in off Thompson. Hamblin with the assist at 13:29. So Thompson almost saves it, but doesn't. And Sam Gagner now has his third goal in his return to the Oilers. Thompson then holds on to a rebound from Connor Brown. Vegas goes back to the power play. That was killed off as well. Kane's denied on a break. It's 1-0 Oilers after 1. Second period. Early press by Vegas, and they would score. Stone from Korczak and Eichel at 1:11. That's Stone's first goal in a while. But the Oilers get that back at 5:08. It's Janmark. It deflects in off of them. They considered goal interference on that. They didn't actually challenge it. Ekholm and McDavid with the assists, but Vegas would get that back. At 5:51 on a face-off win in the Edmonton zone, they bury it quickly. It's Amadio from Roy. So suddenly it's a 2-2 tie. We get a power play for the Oilers. It becomes 55 seconds of 4-on-4. McDavid likes it when there's less players on the ice. And at 7:54 on a fast break, he scores. So Connor McDavid is definitely back to being Connor McDavid. So everything's killed off there then. Vegas goes back to the power play. Then becomes 7 seconds of 4-on-4. And it's an Oilers power play. And the Oilers score during theirs. It is Kane from Bouchard and McDavid at 17:23. The score's 4-2 Edmonton after 2. Third period. There's a post for Derek Ryan early. It's cleared out after that. The Oilers press at 4 minutes. We get a power play for Vegas. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Connor Brown. That's killed off. Ernie's denied. The Oilers come out of that with a power play. Ernie drew that power play. Draisaitl has a one-timer that's saved. They cycle. It's cleared. It's killed off. The shots are 7-1 Edmonton with 8 minutes left. Masterful job of shutting down Vegas to this point. Stone has a 3-on-2 chance that deflects out, and then a one-timer from the slot just fools Skinner. It's Hutton from Cotter and Amadio at 13:30, and Vegas looks to tie it, and they would. It's tipped out of the air by Kolasar. Whitecloud and Roy with the assists at 17:52. It's 4-4. We're going to overtime. In the overtime, Vegas controls early. Bouchard has a rush broken up. Marchessault's denied on a 2-on-1. Kane has a rush chance. That deflects out. We end up going to the shootout. In the shootout, both McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins score the goals, and the goaltending holds up at the other end. So your final score is 5-4 in a shootout in favor of the Oilers. They go to 8-12-1 with the win. Vegas 14-5-4. They get a point, but yeah, they're not going to be happy. And now they're coming into Vancouver on Thursday, and Vancouver's played them tough over the years, so we'll see how it goes. Shots are 12-11 Edmonton in the first, 12-8 Edmonton in the second, 9-5 Edmonton in the third. In the overtime, Vegas actually outshoots them 3-1. Final shots 34-27 Edmonton. Power plays 0 for 5 for Vegas, 1 for 3 for Edmonton. Both teams had 28 hits in this game. Thompson saves 30 out of 34. Skinner saved 23 out of 27. So, yeah, Edmonton gets the 2 points, and that's what's important. All right, and last game of the night, Anaheim and Vancouver. Anaheim had a really good first 2 periods, and then it was like in the third period they went, we're the Ducks, right? So anyways, Gibson versus Demko. Mikheyev has a post on a wraparound. Shots on net are 4-0 Anaheim 6 minutes in. So Vancouver, slow starters when it comes to hitting the net tonight. Besser then has a net drive that's blocked, and then he buries a rebound at the net. He scores at 6:34 from Hronek and Miller. Brock Besser's the #1 goal scorer in the NHL. I don't know what to make of that either. I'm a Besser fan, and even I look at that and go, really? He's the bet? That's fantastic, but how long is that going to last? Let's enjoy this while it lasts. So the Canucks have some momentum with the lead. We get a power play for Vancouver. Besser with a one-timer, that's blocked. That power play's killed off. Ducks then get a power play. McTavish is denied during that. They cycle. That's killed off. Amon has a net drive. That's held. It's 1-0 Vancouver after one. Second period. Early Canucks power play. There's a toe save on Miller. That's killed off. There's a press by the Ducks at 3.5 minutes. Anaheim would get a power play, and they would score on it. It's Strome with his first in a while. He buries that one in close. Henrique and Vetrano with the assists at 5 minutes and 10 seconds. And 6.5 minutes in, the shots are 8-3 Anaheim. So Anaheim was very good at points in this game. There's a post for Vetrano as the Ducks press. Canucks press with 7 minutes left. Garland has a screenshot that saved the Ducks press in the final minute. And Killorn has the screenshot that's held. So after 2 periods, the score's tied at 1. But the third period, the Canucks just flipped the switch. 32 seconds in, on a wraparound. And Gibson was distracted. He was mad at something going on somewhere else. He didn't watch Pettersson. Pettersson buries it. Myers and Mikheyev with the assists at 32 seconds. That makes it 2-1. Canucks look for another. Juleson fires one wide. It's all Canucks at this point. Blocker save on Hronek. Bluger has a wraparound that save. The Canucks were wraparound happy in that third period. I think after Pettersson did it, they're like, all right, let's all try it. Maybe there was dinner on the line. I have no idea. Hughes has a shot that's held. There's some pushing there. Quinn Hughes' point streak ends at 11 tonight. I don't think he cares. Players don't care as much about the point streaks, I think, as media and fans do. All they care about is winning the games, really. Shots are 6-0 Vancouver at 6.5 minutes. So like I said, it's like the Ducks in the third period, like, yeah, but we're Anaheim. Another Hughes shot is held. We get a power play for Vancouver. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Vetrano. Mikheyev got hurt on a shot block. It went right off his knee. I hope he's okay, but he couldn't put any weight on it. So fingers crossed, hopefully Mikheyev's okay. And, you know, this is where injury prone comes in, right? That power play's killed off. The Canucks press after. The Ducks press, but they're kept to the outside. Too many Canucks on the ice with 4:24 left, which is frustrating because, like, your line changes should be crisp late in the game that you're leading. But that was killed off. There was a post for the Ducks right after it ended, too. I thought Vancouver was more furiously running around in their own zone after the power play was done than during the power play. But at any rate, with 1:32 left, the Canucks get a power play. So the Ducks clear it. They pull the goaltender with 1 minute and 10 seconds left. And from the other end of the ice, Brock Besser hits the middle of the net. JT Miller with the assist at 19:32. So that makes your score 3-1. Vancouver bounces back nicely. They're now 8-1-1 at home. They're 15-7-1 overall. Anaheim has lost, I think this is 6 or 7 in a row. 9-13 on the season. So Anaheim's getting into video territory, just as like a heads up kind of thing. If they reach 10-game winless streak, I have to do a video on the team because that's how that works. Same with a 10-game winning streak, though. So shots on net, 12-6 Anaheim in the first, 15-6 Anaheim in the second, 16-4 Vancouver in the third. So, again, it feels like just in the third period, Anaheim ran out of gas, and Vancouver remembered who they were. Shots on net, 31-28 Anaheim. Power plays, Anaheim 1 for 3, Vancouver 1 for 4. The hits, 33-25 for the Ducks. Gibson saved 25 out of 27. Damko saved 30 out of 31. So, again, Anaheim keeps slipping, sliding, and we'll see how far down they drop. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And here's to hoping tomorrow is as drama-free as possible. Like, I love to have the view counts on the channel, but it's always nice when the view counts are about a trade, something fun happened, a big signing, something like that. So here's fingers crossed that we'll get something fun tomorrow that will drive traffic to the channel and not some kind of dramatic, gossipy kind of thing. So anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.